The Stormlight 4 Rhythm of War cover art has finally been revealed. We've been waiting on this, and it has been delayed, but now it is here. It came out today. As I'm recording this, I might release this a day or two later, but hot off the press. These are my hot take, hot thoughts as we together judge a book by its cover. Here it is, the cover of Rhythm of War. The artist, Michael Whalen, is not new to fans of Brandon Sanderson or the Stormlight Archives. In fact, I believe that he's done each of the different entries in the series so far. So if you like his work on these other covers, then you'll probably like this one as well. I'll admit this and acknowledge this. The Stormlight Archives have not had my favorite covers of all times. They've gotten better, but Way of Kings, although it gives epic and it gives chasm, but it doesn't give characters and it doesn't give much to the story, which I like a little bit of that insight. Now, throw all of what I just said negative about that first cover when we're talking here about the Rhythm of War cover. And let me just clarify here from the beginning, if you don't get it, this is going to be spoiler filled for all of the books so far. Spoiler filled. Don't watch this video if you haven't read all 3 of the Stormlight Archive books and you're craving for this 4th one. Say what you want about orange and blue, smashing them together, putting them on fantasy books. I know that it's been somewhat overdone, but I think that it totally works here. On the front, we have our beautiful redhead, pale skin, brilliant, history, convoluted, incredible protagonist POV that we've had for many of the books now. This is her first cover. We've got Shallan here, decked out in, man, this interesting kind of garb with a satchel over her shoulder. Maybe defending against something? I don't know, but what we do know is that she is totally in Shadesmar. I was about to comment here that I'm missing pattern. I'm not seeing pattern. But then I'm glad that we're not seeing pattern, because if we're in Shadesmar, pattern's going to look dynamically and drastically different than what the cute little pattern of pattern that we're kind of used to seeing. Reason why I say Shadesmar, not only because of the colors, not only because it looks foreign to our world. If you zoom in there on the water in the background, you can see that the ground there, the water, is made up of little beads, which we were clearly communicated to, at least in the last book in Oathbringer. We see here alien flora and fauna. Everything is somewhat unfamiliar. Even those big, shapes that are beside Shallan's head, we don't know exactly what that is. I think it's somewhat of an artistic representation. None of these covers so far have showed us like exactly what's happening in the book. It's always somewhat not metaphorical, but I guess not 100% accurate to what's going on in the text, which is completely fine. They do that purposefully and intentionally, but we can clearly say a few things here by looking at this front cover alone. We can say that's Shallan. We can say that's Shadesmar. And honestly, that's about all that we can say right now. But then, when you flip to the back and look at the full cover, both back and front and spine, in full detail, you get a lot more. Check this out. Are you kidding me? The front was just the mere beginning. As we scroll to the back, we see that, I guess that plant life that is glowing in orange, continue to shift over until we see another sea of beads, followed by a man on one knee with a sword in his hand. Now, it looks like he's got white hair, and it might still be blonde as what we're familiar with him having, but there might have been events that have transpired in Rhythm of War that have caused his hair to whiten. Right here, we've been confirmed by the artist that this is Adolin. You see him wearing Colin blue. He's gripping a sword. And the thing that has excited me the most, more than anything, is that sword's tip resting on the ground is casting a rainbow sheen. I don't think that this is just a reflection from whatever else is going on over there with those orange squares. I think this is coming from the sword itself. The amazing thing is that I was able to read Warbreaker just a month or two ago, just a short time ago, and I'm so glad that I did because it's one of the few Cosmere books that I hadn't yet read. But now that I know about the biochromatic sphere and all of that, I freaked out when I saw Adolin's sword casting this rainbow kind of color or reflection on this rock. What it says to me is that either Adolin has advanced in his power and his ability, or that this sword that he is holding has some kind of unique properties. Look at it again. Some are theorizing that this is Nightblood. I don't think so, because the way that Nightblood has been described isn't like this. Now, it is sheathed, and Nightblood is primarily sheathed, but Adolin, we know that the sword is over here, but as far as I remember, it's not in Adolin's hands at the end of Oathbringer, and again, this isn't how it's described. This might be the artist's representation, so I get that. It might be totally different, and it might be Nightblood, but it might be something else that's going on. What I do know is that this is connected to Warbreaker. 1000%. You cannot argue with me otherwise. Now, did you notice the building there in the image, kind of that Adolin's looking off to in the distance? It's again in Shadesmar because it is completely foreign to what we're used to on Roshar. And I didn't know what it was. I had theories, but then the description that Amazon has just today given to Rhythm of War, I think brings some clarity. So the last thing I want to do here is read that description for you as you get to look at this image one last time. After forming a coalition of human resistance against the enemy invasion, Dalinar Kholin and his Knights Radiant have spent a year fighting a protracted, brutal war. Neither side has gained an advantage, and the threat of a betrayal by Dalinar's crafty ally, Taravangian, looms over every strategic move. Now, as new technological discoveries by Navani Kholin's scholars begin to change the face of the war, the enemy prepares a bold and dangerous operation. The arms race that follows will challenge the very core of the Radiant ideals and potentially reveal the secrets of the ancient tower that was once the heart of their strength. At the same time that Kaladin Stormblessed must come to grips with his changing role within the Knights Radiant, his Windrunners face their own problems. As more and more deadly enemy fused awaken to wage war, no more Honor Spren are willing to bond with humans to increase the number of Radiants. Adolin and Shallan must lead the coalition's envoy to the Honor Spren stronghold of lasting integrity, and either convince the Spren to join the cause against the evil god Odium, or personally face the storm of failure. I think what we're clearly seeing there in the background is that stronghold, lasting integrity. We don't know anything about it as far as I'm concerned leading into Rhythm of War. So, man, I am preparing myself to spend a lot more time on this other side of Shadesmar than we have in any book previously. Well, that's my hot take on the Rhythm of War cover reveal. What did you think? What did you catch that I missed? Well, I'm going to be looking at this for the next several days, really until the book's release later this year. I'm thrilled, super excited. I've actually been reading along with the chapters as they've been released on Tor's website. I'll have a link in the description down below so that if you want to read the first 6 chapters that are out right now, you can as well. But please let me know what your thoughts are on the cover down below. Let's theorize together. And if you'd like for me to do more of these like hot takes on breaking fantasy news, please let me know that as well. I've been considering that, and it's something that I might be looking into doing. As always, thank you for watching this video, for clicking like. If you haven't yet, click subscribe, join the Dragon Army. We're well on our way to 500 subscribers. That's a good goal to reach towards. Other than that, enjoy drooling over this cover, and we'll see you in the next video.